Major League Baseball's All-Star Game is now just minutes away, right around the corner, and greetings. Welcome to FanFest here in Miami, Florida, where we are going to share with you the very best of best on behalf of the top 53 high school baseball players in the country. Welcome to the Perfect Game All-American Classic Selection Show, revealing the roster of the very best 50 plus, in this case 53 high school baseball players in the country. Perfect Game's Vice President of Player Personnel, David Ronsley. My name is Darren Sutton. Glad to have you with us. When you think of the history of this game, it's so rich with journeys to the major leagues. David, in the history of this game, 206 Perfect Game All-American have been selected in the first round. And you even look at this year with Hunter Green being selected second, with Royce Lewis being selected first, with Mackenzie Gore going in the 3 slot. All of them were in the game last year. So there's always themes, right? There's always big themes, David. So kick us off. What is the theme when you look at this roster with your scout's eye, and what do you see?
Well, Darren, what's happening all over baseball is we see a lot more velocity. We see it in the big leagues. We'll see it in the All-Star Game this afternoon. But it's the same things happening at the high school level. And we have so many pitchers now who are touching 94, 95 miles an hour. It doesn't mean we don't appreciate those guys who can spin the ball, who can throw strikes. But whereas, 94 is the new 90 now. There are just so many pitchers throwing harder, and we'll see that as we introduce the pitchers.
So it's a unique mix of talent, as David is talking about. Look, it starts last fall at Jupiter, the World Wood Bat Association Championship. These players work so hard. This is why we're celebrating them. They play through their high school season. They deal with their academics as well. Then it's a very busy summer. You'll be educated about that summer for those heading into their senior year of high school. But a big part of it, along with USA Baseball for many, is Perfect Game's National Showcase and the opportunity to show yourself. Then the selection comes here. Better yet, why don't we take you behind the scenes? How did we get here? Let's find out.
We picked the best players from this event, from these 300 and some players for the All-American game. And this is where we're going to pick most of them from. You guys right here, this group before you, the group after you. First thing we're going to do is right when we're done here, we're going to get loose and we're going to start with running the 60. So after we're done running the 60 and we don't ask you to run it again, we're going to go to the outfield. So all the outfielders are going to start getting hot in right field as we're finishing up running the 60 and left. We're going to go to the infield. Infielders, you're going to get 5 balls. 1 right at you. 2 to the backhand. 1 up the middle. Slow roller. On that slow roller, you're out. After we're done with the infield, we'll go first baseman. First baseman, you're going to get 5 throws. 3 of them are going to be deep. 1's going to come off the bag. 1's going to be even with the bag. Then we go to the catcher's pops. Catcher's your full gear. Everybody gets 5, all right? When we're done with that, we'll go to batting practice. Once we get to those games, the games are a little bit different than Showcase, but somewhat similar. We still have a 5-batter max. We have no walks. We have no hit by pitch. But what we do have is we're putting a runner on because we want to put some pressure on that pitcher.
15th annual game. Best players in the country, they gather, and it is a thrill to put it here together. 139 have gone on to the major leagues. 206 have been drafted.
We are extremely proud to host Perfect Game All-American Classic. I believe this is the 9th year in a row that we've had the Classic here, and when you look at this beautiful venue behind us, it's easy to see why it should really be here every year.
This is fun for us every year, to come to your part of the world where the weather is gorgeous and to recognize some talented Californians as the first 2 members of the 2017 Perfect Game All-American Classic. On the far end, out of Laguna Beach, California, a young man who hit 94 at Perfect Game National, had a great national showcase out of Laguna Beach High School, where he's a heck of a basketball player as well. Blake Burzell is an All-American. Congratulations to him.
Oh man, it means the world to me. When you guys called me up to the offices and took pictures of me and everything, I was just like, wow, is this really happening to me? Because all those kids were just amazing, and I think all of them are great players and should be recognized for their talent. They will be recognized for their talent.
Out of Santiago High School, and he plays some travel ball with Playa Vista, playing that Arizona Heat this weekend. I congratulate you. He's got one of the prettiest swings in all of baseball. There's a left-handed swing from the Inland Empire of Bryce Terang. Congratulations for joining the roster.
It's awesome, man. Like, being able to experience playing at any big league stadium is awesome, especially as a kid. I mean, because we're not there yet, so we may not ever experience playing. It's awesome to be able to play here.
So you know two that are on the roster. We've got 51 to go. David, instead of going regions or positions, let's start with the top five, because this is a dynamic top five when you think about the players in that top five group. There are arms, there are catchers, there's Wisconsin, there's California. Jared Kelnick out of Wisconsin. When you look at the top five, what do you see?
Well, I see a nice balance. First of all, I see a middle infielder in Terang. I see a catcher in Banfield. I see an outfielder in Kelnick. I see two hard-throwing right-handers. But if you looked a little closely, you saw three players from the state of Georgia. That's three of the top five, and that's something that's happening in baseball now. Georgia is becoming one of the most talented states in the game. It might be this year in terms of high school, and we're going to hear about some more Georgia players in addition to those three as we talk about these players more.
They look good, by the way, on their Leaf baseball cards and their Perfect Game All-American Classic uniforms. Strong Georgia presence, as David is talking about. So let's go player by player. They look good in those baseball cards. Let's see these talented players. You remember Tracy Rocker, all of us that love college football, Lombardi Trophy winner at Auburn, longtime coach in the NFL, imparting wisdom. The number one player in the land, his name is Kumar Rocker. He's got a huge arm. This is a gifted athlete, throws up to 98 miles an hour.
Well, the first thing you notice about Kumar Rocker, Darren, is you know his dad was a big man, because Kumar is 6'5", 260, and it's big. He's big in the hips. He generates so much power from his lower half, and it's kind of a football body. But he also throws so easy. It's an easy 94, 98. He throws it to spots. And he also has got pretty good secondary stuff. The secondary stuff, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup are getting better. But at the end of the day, he's a fastball pitcher who can really bring it.
Rocker is a Vanderbilt commit, and with regard to who he is as a pitcher, better said, we could watch him work and see the strength that he has, David. The over-the-head windup, I think it's a classic look.
Oh, no doubt about it. We call that an old-school windup. And it's just something that he does. Not many pitchers do, but he incorporates it so easily. But you look at the big body there, and you look at his ability to hit spots with his fastball. And fastball command to both sides of the plate is so important. And Kumar's been a pitcher his entire career. He's not been a football player or anything else, and you can see the polish that he has in the mound in his delivery.
He tells us how he does it.
I've had the same delivery since I was 10. The hand behind the head really helped me. Everything I heard was to get down the mound, arm angle up, don't drop your elbow, stay on top of it. I've played in those since I was little, and it came out as this. Probably the best feeling is just stay relaxed. The adrenaline will kick in. Try to maintain it as best as possible and do what you know how to do. Right, first thing I felt comfortable. The adrenaline was pumping, helped me out a little. Second inning came in, I settled in more. Guys came up, got some contact, and whatever happens, happens. I can't say much about it. Probably looks violent. It doesn't look violent to y'all, but in my mind, it's full energy. It takes a lot for that, and I'm glad it looks smooth.
You know who else looks smooth? Shortstop Bryce Terang. This was his day of finding out in San Diego, out of Corona, California.
Well, Terang maybe has the best hit tool in this class, Darren. He's very similar to Mickey Moniak, who was the first pick in the draft in 2016. Same type of left-handed swing and offensive polish. The difference between Terang and Moniak being Bryce is a true middle infielder. Manned up at second, manned up short, but he's a middle infielder.
Will Banfield, the number one catcher in the land out of Georgia.
Well, Banfield is such a good athlete, Darren. He's so flexible. He has strong hands, and he has a big arm, and he's one of the best defensive catchers I've ever seen at this level in all regards. And the bat's going to play, too. It's a strong right-handed swing, a lot of power to right center field.
Ethan Hankins, 6'6", and all kinds of fun out of Forsyth Central High School.
Yeah, Ethan Hankins, he looks like what a pitcher should when he's 17 years old. 6'6", throws very easy, mid-90s up to 97, and he might be the best command pitcher in this draft class. He fills up the zone with his fastball. Breaking ball's getting better, a little better every time I see him.
From Wisconsin, Jared Kelnick. He's a gold medalist, by the way, with Team USA last year.
Yeah, very high-performance player, but also special tools. He's got center field speed. He's got a right field arm. He's a middle-of-the-order left-handed hitter, and it's really all come together. I'm not a big young man, 6'1", 185, but a finely honed athlete.
So we gathered these athletes together, and you understand that Bryce Terang was in California. That's when he found out. But 4 of those 5 were in one place, a Perfect Games National Showcase. And we figured, Why not go inside of their heads, all the things they're dealing with, and we put no subject out of bounds. The first one is how to stay humble. In a game in which social media and all that covers you lifts you up as an athlete, how do you keep yourself down in the right spot? Let's go inside of the locker room and learn from these top 4 players.
I mean, we try to, stay low-key, I guess. We don't really like to, make our presence known. I mean, I don't know about
Some
you
people
guys.
are different how they handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people walk up to the park and they're like y'all know who I am, and let's get this thing started. But we kind of just chill.
Stay low-key.
We know who we are. We're just
players.
Yeah,
we don't see ourselves
humble,
as anybody else or anybody different than everybody else. We're just out here trying to play some baseball.
And I think the biggest thing is that when the minute you do have that mentality I'm this big shot or whatever, the game will humble you very fast.
Yeah.
And because there's so much failure that goes along with it. So I think that if you just go out and play as hard as you can every single day, that, and act like you're no different than anybody else out there, because really you're not. We all have 2 arms, 2 legs, so.
Yeah, let your game separate you, not your mouth.
Yeah.
Let your game separate you, not your mouth. Well said. We'll go back inside that locker room, 3 or 4 different subjects, a fun gathering of athletes. As we get back to the East pitchers and catchers, we're going to go into the pool. That's right, we're in Miami, into the pool, because Luke Bartnicki is a pitcher that, with regard to his butterfly stroke, he has swam at an all-state level, and that's helped his left arm.
Yeah, you can see how smooth he is here, Darren. Very low effort lefty. 94 on the fastball, tops out maybe a 95. And it's very easy, and much like Kumar Rocker, he throws it to spots. Where he's really improved this summer, he's developed the slider, low to mid 80s as a potential second pitch that he throws for strikes as well.
Slade Ciccone, Orlando Scorpions, touched 96 at National.
Oh yeah, he doesn't touch 96. He goes out and sits for a couple innings at 94, 96. The breaking ball kind of comes and goes. It can be a power slider. He also throws a curveball. But he's a mid-90s right-hander, and he can maintain the velocity.
Miami commit. Carter Stewart's a Mississippi State commit. Central Florida Gators, his travel team. You like this one.
Oh, I like him a lot, Darren. Carter Stewart, we're not going to talk mid-90s. He's 90, 92 now. This is some of the best breaking ball stuff I have ever seen on a high school pitcher. With the help of TrackMan and MLB Advanced Media, we're learning about spin rates. Carter Stewart, 3,200, 3,400. That's top of the big league level for a breaking ball.
Lenny Torres is going to St. John. There's our man out of New York.
Yeah, our first New Yorker. Lenny came to the National Showcase. We didn't know a lot about him. We quickly did. He throws real easy, as you can see here. 92, 94, touches a 95. A very young kid, middle infielder's body, and a lot of physical projection in there for him to get better.
Cole Wilcox getting better and growing out of Chickamauga, Georgia. He's a Georgia commit.
You just like saying that.
I do. I love it.
He's my pick to click on the East team, I think, pitchers. He's got 3 pitches now. He's a big kid, 6'6", 220, and it's just all there in front of him. He'll touch 96. He'll throw it to spots, and I love the breaking ball. I love the changeup on Cole Wilcox.
Mike Trout played for Tri-State Arsenal, and when he did so, he jumped to the big leagues. Brandon Neek plays for that same travel club, a left-hander out of New York.
Yeah, Brandon Neek, he's not a real physical kid, about 6'1", 185, but as you see there, very long arms. And although he's from New York, one of the most polished left-handers in this class, 90 to 93, has a very good slider. We saw a lot of swing and misses on both the fastball and the slider at National.
TrackMan data had Jonathan Gates up to 92 out of Brooksville, Florida.
Yeah, very polished player. I kind of liken him to John Lester at the same age. He's a 90-92 guy, but he throws a slider. He throws a very nice changeup. He mixes his pitches. He can throw to all quadrants of his own. He went to National and struck out 6 straight very good hitters, put on a great performance there.
Anthony Sigler is committed to Auburn. What position will he play at Auburn?
Oh, he might play 10 different positions. You see him as a left-handed pitcher here, and we've heard of switch pitchers before. He throws right-handed and left-handed, but he throws 90 from both sides. And, of course, he's on this team as a catcher, a strong-arm catcher, of course, throws right-handed there. But in addition to his athleticism behind the plate, he's athletic enough to play all over the field. And of course, if he's a switch pitcher, you might as well be a switch hitter. And I can see no difference between his left-handed and right-handed swing approaches and ceilings as a hitter. So with Anthony Ziegler, you pretty have much of a whole roster right there.
Mason Denneberg, same kind of decision to make. He's got a big arm. He works well behind the plate. He's an All-American.
He's an All-American. He's a football player who plays multiple positions. He's a baseball player who I think the scouts still haven't decided whether he's a power-hitting catcher or a strong-arm pitcher. He's going to pitch in the game, and he was up to 97 at National. I think that may be his future position, but hey, maybe not. Maybe we should ask Mason about that.
Well, one of his most important positions is at home, his family position, and how he values mom and dad and his sisters. We got an opportunity to get to know his sister Carly, who is a standout on the college soccer field. Very important in his family. But there's another sister, Lexi, who changed his life forever. It's one thing to ask a young man which position he will play, but then when you make a decision about your sister and how much longer you'll have her as your sister, that changes everything. Let's get to know Mason.
Honestly, if you had asked me 5 years ago if I would have ever pitched, I would have said no because I would have never found the strike zone ever. But I started working with it like 3 years ago with Coach Mike, Coach Joe's brother. And he's really helped me kind of refine my delivery and stuff and just helped me kind of understand the mental game of pitching and how to pitch people and where to throw pitches on what counts and stuff. And I finally started like figuring it out, I guess. I feel like it helps me out a lot because I kind of understand like hitters more and what they're going to do, and I look at like kind of their tendencies and stuff before the pitch happens and stuff. I think it's cool because I've never really thrown as hard as I've threw today, but I normally am like 92, 94, but today I was like 96 to 97. So my little sister was really sick when she was 14 years old, when she was an 8th grader, and she got pneumonia and mono and a bunch of like different diseases, and I was at a football game and my coach told me that my sister was in the hospital, and I didn't know what to do. Like I was so bummed. I was like bawling my eyes out. I didn't know what to say. And then I visited her, and she couldn't talk, and she couldn't do anything. And she got a tube down her throat, and I just remember grabbing her hand and like I just said a prayer for her. I remember the next couple weeks after that, she got better and she was all right. It really meant the world to me to see her I remember she came home and she was like in a walker, and I was just so sad, and I was just like praying that she would be all right again and stuff. And then I see her the next year like win a state championship in soccer and just be starting as a freshman on the volleyball team, and now it's an hour she's a really, really good beach volleyball player, and she's committed to UCLA, and it's just really cool to see that.
Mason joins us on stage. Real life stuff. Congratulations, first of all, on being a perfect game All-American. And as we will learn throughout this show, and you've learned, part of the journey as a perfect game All-American is giving back to the community in San Diego and Rady Children's Hospital. It was Arnold Palmer Hospital, the Children's Hospital, and the PICU that was so important to your family. Dr. Spack was a big part of things for your sister Lexi. So how much does it mean for you to raise some cash for the same kind of cause?
Yeah, it's going to be really special because this is one of the things that I've really looked forward to, coming out to San Diego and playing this game. And it's just cool seeing like other kids and just how you have an effect on their lives. And it just really changed my life having that situation with my sister. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you, my friend.
Mason, we talked before about you playing multiple positions and doing it at such a high level. When I was on this stage last year with Hunter Green was sitting in your seat, I asked him what did he identify as when he went to the ballpark. Same question to you. When you go to the ballpark, and I know you're carrying your catcher's bag, would you think of yourself as a pitcher or catcher first?
I still haven't figured that out yet. I don't know. I think that's a question for a coach a couple years down the road, or for me to figure out in a couple years. I really enjoy doing them both.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Hunter Green said too. He said, I'm going to let somebody else make that decision for me. On sort of another level, on this stage yesterday, we saw Brandon McKay get the Dick Hauser Award for the top player in college baseball as a two-way guy. If you end up at Florida, is that something you can envision for yourself, being a full-time both ways?
Yeah, that's something I really wanted to do, actually. Maybe get a corner infielder position or in the outfield and still stay on the mound.
Okay, you're saying catcher is too hard to do that and pitch full time.
Might be a little hard, but who knows?
I tend to agree with you. Aaron?
That's breaking news. Nice job. Hey, listen, congratulations. Have fun in San Diego. It's been a busy week for you. Major League Baseball's had you active as well. It's well-deserved. Best of luck in making Team USA as well, chasing a gold medal. We're honored to have you here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Perfect game All-American Mason Denneberg. Big picture, right? Puts it right into perspective with regard to raising funds for Rady Children's Hospital and honoring Lexi. We'll be honored to honor Lexi and continue to do so. She's headed to UCLA. Dare I say, this may be the third best athlete in the family? Sorry about that. I better get to break before I get in trouble. We'll have a little bit more. We'll continue to reveal the roster. Glad to have you with us at FanFest in Miami, Florida, just hours away from Major League Baseball's All-Star Game. This is the reveal, getting you set for the perfect game, All-American Classic. More in a bit. All right.
Oh, got him.
Good job.
Cool. Wow, this is so cool.
You guys are here because you're the best in the country. This is your moment to shine.
That was gone.
I'm Andrew McCutcheon. I want to congratulate all you guys on being in the perfect game.
Hey, Trey, right here. Wow, this is so cool. What? I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is amazing. This is crazy. Can't believe I'm actually here.
When you have low pop times, you've got to be quick behind the plate, okay? But you can't be throwing it into center field. So what are some of the keys for you? Anticipating a runner at first, you got a runner at first, you seize it first. What are some of the keys for you?
I like to visualize a tee kind of like along the plate, starting like right here, and making sure that you're facing second, and right when I get that pitch, I want to make sure that I get that right foot out and left foot out just to gain ground. That's how I feel is like the main key to like throwing runners out and being quick off pop time. Is gaining ground, like getting that momentum to get all that power on your throw.
I guess that's a little bit of a sneak preview, right? David Ronsley, Darren Sutton finding out the best 53 in the land heading into the perfect game All-American Classic, the 15th edition, because that was Noah Naylor and Jupiter at the World Wood Bat Association Championship last fall. Noah Naylor is, in fact, an All-American. He's a Canadian as an All-American and certainly a very gifted all-around athlete catcher.
Yeah, that's the special thing about Noah Naylor, Darren, is that he can do so much athletically. He's quick behind the plate. He's got a great throwing arm. But he's the kind of athlete, he runs a 6'6", 60. He could play shortstop probably in this All-American game. And, of course, if your name's Naylor with his first-round brother, you're going to swing the bat, too. And I believe he was, second place in the high school home run derby yesterday. He can swing the bat left-handed as well as show that athleticism.
He was defeated in that home run derby by a fellow All-American. We'll tell you about him in just a minute. Noah Naylor gives way to Christopher Willis, the #1 player in Louisiana, a non-commit. Intriguing.
Not committed yet, but certainly worthy of going to any school in the country athletically. 6'4", 190 pounds. Maybe a little big to stay at catcher, but that's not going to be a worry because his best tools right now are offensive. He's a left-handed hitter with a great left-handed swing.
Austin Wells out of Vegas. Bishop Gorman, the #1 player in Nevada, headed to Arizona.
Yeah, Bishop Gorman's one of the top programs in the country, and you can see that in Wells' game. He's very polished, does everything right on the field defensively and offensively. I especially like his offense. He's a mature hitter. He takes pitches. He hits to all fields. And he puts up big numbers both in the summer and for Bishop Gorman in the spring.
We saw Blake Brazil earlier. He's an All-American. He also is an All-State caliber high school basketball player at Laguna Beach.
Well, you look at that length there, the long arms and everything. And not only is he a great basketball player, when you look at him as a pitcher, you can see the athleticism. And I think that's what scouts love when they see an athlete that big with a multi-sport resume. He's very similar to Matt Manning, who was the Detroit Tigers first-round pick 2 years ago, who was also an All-American. Very similar as basketball players, very similar as pitchers as well.
He is committed to play baseball at Duke, a high-skilled talent staying out west. And Arizona shows up again in the likes of Jacob Gonzalez last year, who was a second-round pick out of Arizona. This is a pitcher, Matthew Liberatore, out of Mountain Ridge High School. He's committed to go to Arizona.
Well, Matthew Liberatore has been one of the top performance pitchers in the WWBA events. He's outstanding during the springs. Last year, he was getting outs all summer, throwing 85, 88. Now he's 89, 92. He's still 6'5" and loose, has a big slow break, a big slow curveball that gets hitters way off balance. He's going to keep improving.
Ian Bedell, the #1 player in the state of Iowa.
Well, Ian Bedell has a lot of Jeremy Hellickson in him. Hellickson, a former All-American, PG All-American from Iowa. He's up to 94, but it's command of the secondary stuff. He has got a very good breaking ball. He's got a very good changeup. He throws nothing straight, and he fills up the strike zone. And Hellickson's had a pretty good big league career with the same formula.
Bedell headed to Mizzou. Ryan Weathers' dad is David Weathers. You remember him, nearly 1,000 major league appearances. This is a lefty, though.
Yeah, David had the wisdom to have a left-handed son, but you can see a lot of big leaguer son in him. He can really pitch. He's up to 95 with a fastball, but he also has an advanced curveball and changeup, feel for the strike zone, the kind of things you expect when your dad threw almost 1,000 games in the big leagues.
Ryan is committed to go to Vandy, rounding out the catchers and the pitchers, and we do so from the West squad. So it's interesting, by the way, we want to make it clear with the athleticism with regard to that Weathers family that Mom Kelly was an All-American on the basketball court as a college basketball player. So, David, we're not giving you all of the credit. We will give credit to these pitchers because they're spinning the baseball creatively so that scouts like you are noticing. It's not just TrackMan data that's noticing. You're noticing. So how do they do it? All you young pitchers stand up and take notice. Here's the grips. Here's how they make it move.
I throw a four-seam fastball, has natural run, and then I throw a regular circle change like that. Then I throw a curveball. I grip inside, like right inside the horseshoe, like that, and just spin it off over top.
The normal fastball, four-seam, the curve, and the change-up, circle change.
Throw a four-seam. I mean, I have a two-seam. I don't really throw it. And then I throw a slider, and then I just kind of figured out how to throw my change-up now.
Slider, curve, and then change.
This is my two-seam. Everyone says it has a lot of arm side run on it, so I like to use it a lot, especially against righties. My four-seam, this is my run it up there a little bit pitch, throw it inside, jam some righties, jam them up. This is my slider. If someone's on my fastball, I like to throw it a lot. I'm getting a better feel for it like today. It's pretty good today. And then my changeup is for righties who have my slider, have my fastball, and this is just another thing in the arsenal I can use against them.
The grips, and this is an interesting year because there are many out there who are not honored enough to be on this list because it's such an honor, but yet in other years would be with the pitching depth.
Oh, Darren, there's no doubt about this. I think is the deepest class we've ever had of pitchers. I mentioned at the top of the show about the velocity. There's a lot of guys out there who can spin it too, and I think when we get to next spring and next year's draft, you may see some more names. There's just so many of them out there. We can't put them all on one All-American team.
Let's return to the list and look at these pitchers and go with the man who is committed to Texas A&M, Jonathan Childress. He is a talented pitcher out of Forney, Texas.
Yeah, Jonathan Childress is my pick-to-click sort of on the West team. A big lefty, 6'4", 215 pounds, up to 94. But what he does really well is pitch. He can throw a breaking ball anywhere between 74 and 81. He throws it with feel. He can change the shape and location. Also may end up with a plus changeup. So the velocity's big. He's got the big body, but it's a big repertoire of pitches.
Mike Vassell is from Massachusetts. He's a Virginia commit. Had a hello moment at the World Wood Bat Association Championship recently.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. We're going on the big theme, about 6'5", 230, and he throws easy. And if you look at that, the hitters don't see the ball much, and then it's coming at him at 95 miles an hour. Breaking ball was really good there, but yeah, we haven't seen a lot of them, but we have loved what we saw, including a few weeks ago in Georgia.
You had to stay up late to see Jack Perkins wow recently after 1 a.m. at a great perfect game tournament out of Kokomo, Indiana.
Well, if you just watch this here, look how fast and smooth that arm is. He looks like he's playing catch, and it's 93, 94, 95 miles an hour. And yeah, World Wood Bat, he started a game after midnight and was just blowing 94 early in the morning. That's something.
JT Ginn was great at Tournament of Stars. He was great in Atlanta right after.
Yeah, it's a Carson Fulmer clone, the young man who was an All-American at Vanderbilt and a White Sox first-round pick. 94, 97, serious curveball with a lot of hair on it, and also a very good hitter.
Austin Becker has been on the notice for quite some time. He's expected to go to Vandy.
Yeah, and he's very much like Carter Stewart, 6'6", very loose, and 90, 92 mostly now. I've seen a little higher than that, but he has a chance to have a plus curveball like Carter Stewart. He gets out over top of it, very high spin rate curveball, and I think that's going to be the pitch that's going to open eyes this summer.
So that will round out the pitchers and the catchers as we go all the way through on the West squad. An exciting group, and as David said, a bunch of players that certainly wouldn't have the opportunity in years past might have jumped onto this roster. When you think about Austin Becker and who he is as a young man, this is a guy, as David said, who's been on the scene for quite some time. Kevin and Teresa, mom and dad, an important reason that they really pushed him to the next level. He's also very proud of his Midwestern heritage out of Sunbury, Ohio. Population 5,000, about 30 miles north of Columbus, Ohio. Let's go home with the young man and learn how he does it so well on the mound.
My dad taught me everything I know about the game, and my mother, she's also she's a really good person, and they both inspired me a lot. Sunbury, it's getting bigger, but like very small town atmosphere. Everyone's down to earth. There's a lot of support with everything, sporting events, like kids getting recognized in the community. They're always behind us and always showing support. We don't have it as good as down south, so where you go is like, I don't know, it's a big thing up north. Working out in the winter, I love working out in the winter because I'm getting my work in, and it's not nice outside, but I'm still grinding to get where I need to go. So playing for Coach Petty, he's an awesome dude. I love everybody from the Canes. They've helped me a lot to get where I'm at today, and I couldn't thank those guys enough. They're just all around great guys, and they want us to be even better people than we are baseball players.
It's your game, and you love it. It's your experience, and you live it. It's your future, and you own it. They are your memories, and they're part of a baseball foundation that you'll build on, always. As you grow your game and make your name, the 14U experience can be an age of separation for you and your team. Perfect Game understands your commitment and provides the opportunity and platform at an age when it's most important. It is our hope that the tournaments and competition will sharpen your skills and leave a lasting impression. And then, long after your games are over, your story will be told and your successes remembered. And much like your older baseball brothers and the Perfect Game All-American Classic, we gather the very best 14U players in the country each year at the PG Baseball Festival. National television, Major League streaming, elite recognition, and an experience that will motivate you to work tirelessly to take your game to an even higher level. These are the days. This is the age. An unmatched commitment to your age group. 14U. Perfect Game. Love baseball forever.
What are some of the keys? Walk me through it. What are some of the keys? Your wrist, your catcher mitt. Give me some secrets on presenting pitches.
So really, I use my glove and I pretend like it's a steering wheel. So on an inside pitch, I'm pretending like I'm trying to get on the left side of the steering wheel right here. That's how I present the pitch right there. Outside pitch, I do the same thing here and just turn my wrist about 45 degrees that way. And then on the top pitch, on a high pitch, I try to curl my wrist down. And on a low pitch, I try to bring my thumb up to the sky, like I'm trying to give a thumbs up. So that's how I present the low pitch.
Perfect Game All-American Will Banfield at the Perfect Game High School Showdown in March. Turns out that he did all the things he needed to do. As we get back to the East position players, we want to do so again on the family side and lift up this first athlete's mom, single mom, Constance. And Elijah Cabell makes it clear that without her, I wouldn't be here. Makes it clear that I won't be looking past her. A great thing to pay tribute to when you think about Mom, David, and when you look at Cabell as an athlete. Mom's done a great job. This is a high-level, high-skill athlete.
Yeah, very high-skill level. And it's good we're going to talk about position players for a while because there's a lot of great ones. Cabell's certainly one of them. Has true right field tools, a very, very strong throwing arm. What I like best about Cabell, however, is the sound the ball makes coming off his bat. Scouts will tell you all about the sound when the ball comes off a barrel. It sounds different off Cabell's barrel than anybody else, really anybody else in this class. It's distinctive and it's impactful.
Connor Scott out of Tampa, Florida, is committed to be a Gator, a dangerous left-handed hitter.
Yeah, very much so. Plant High School, he's going to get tired of the Kyle Tucker comparisons. Tucker had a big week at the Futures game here in Miami. But same thing, 6'4", 185 body, a lot of bat speed and a left-handed swing. Same type athlete, same type of background.
Cabrera Weaver can fly. He ran a 6'2", 60.
Cabrera Weaver, it's fun watching him run. 6'2" on a slow track. You see the long legs and everything he has. As he gets stronger, he might even get faster. What's going to be impactful when he gets stronger is the bat speed's going to improve. I kind of liken him to a Dexter Fowler type athlete.
Parker Meadows, you've circled him. Austin Meadows, his older brother, of 12 Perfect Game All-American.
Yeah, and Parker's a different athlete. First of all, he's taller. He's 6'5", every bit of 200 pounds. It's a very projectable body. And I think Parker's a better athlete overall. He runs a 6'5". He is an outstanding base runner. You see him run on the bases, and it's something. He's also a left-handed hitter. I think Austin had the advantage at the same age as a hitter, but Parker still has the bat, good left-handed power, and we can see him run here. He runs easy, and he runs fast.
Committed to go to Clemson, 6'5" with speed. Nicholas Schnell's out of Indianapolis, Indiana. He's a Louisville commit.
Yeah, another Indiana player. We have two Hoosiers here this year. Nicholas Schnell, very similar to Drew Waters, who was an All-American last year, was a second-round pick of the Atlanta Braves. Very toolsy outfielder with a top-of-the-line throwing arm, left-handed hitter with lots of bat speed. He weighs about 180 pounds now. He's going to get stronger and a very projectable young talent.
Also, in the cold weather, Nick Decker out of New Jersey. Huge bat, big exit velocity.
Oh, yeah, Nick Decker's going to be playing in games the rest of his life and hitting in the middle of the lineup. His job is to knock in runs. We see him going opposite off the Green Monster there at the PG National. He has foul line to foul line power, and he knows how to use it. Good athlete, will be a corner outfielder at the next level, but he's there to hit.
So, David, there are 17 players from states that have bad winters, where it's cold, where it doesn't scream baseball. Yet those players have earned their way onto this roster against all the guys from Georgia, Florida, Texas, and California. It's kind of a no-excuses zone now, right?
Well, I think it is, Darren. I think players have access to so much more in the offseason, whether it's workout facilities and just more awareness about how even on a snowy day in Kokomo, Indiana, you can still do something to make yourself a better athlete, whether it's lifting, whether it's just studying video. Do something every day, regardless of the weather, to make yourself a better baseball player.
Let's go back inside the locker room with our top four players, and that's the subject. They're all from Georgia, minus our Wisconsin guy, Jared Kelnick. How does he handle the cold?
My high school team does have we do have a high school team, but we're in the summer.
Yeah.
So, and that intertwines with my my travel ball team. So I don't play with them, but what my team does, my organization that I play for hitters, we have a spring league that we play in, and we'll play 15, 20 games leading up to our season, and then once you know, there is some schools that have spring ball, but not many, and they do not get enough games in because it's so cold. Like there'll be times where it's 30 degrees, raining or snowing, and they're playing. So it's definitely tough, but you got to take it for what it's worth, really.
How do you get your work in, it being that cold?
Well, my organization has, and we have an indoor baseball field that is like, it's got a full turf infield, batting cage, like there's like 15, 20 batting cages inside, and we'll play live games in there when it's too cold or it's raining out or it's snowing out, and like you just physically, you cannot play. But then otherwise it's just in the weight room.
You think northern kids though slower than southern?
Slower as in, what do you mean?
Like their velos aren't as high.
Being able to throw like
every day in summer
like
rather than
heat. We don't play in cold. Really.
You know, I don't look at it like we have a For me, I don't think I have a disadvantage because if I put in the work, I have all the resources in the world to play just as much as any of you guys do. Like I can go every single day and play inside, whether like 365 days a year because it's an indoor field. We have no disadvantage. It's just the effort that we have to put in. Yeah. And a lot of times people don't like to put in the effort.
I hear you.
That's a pretty honest statement in the end. Don't want to put in the effort. It's a no excuses zone. I know you're going to go old scout on me, right?
Well, you know, that with the cold weather thing, you know, the last I understand, you know, Lou Gehrig was from New York and Babe Ruth was from Baltimore and Bob Feller is from Iowa. The oldsters kind of figured out a way to become better ball players, too. Maybe a little differently, but it got done in the North back then, too.
Without those indoor training facilities, incredible. All right, let's get back to our list of talented players and a young man that is from the North. He deals with it fine. From Michigan, John Malcolm.
Well, John Malcolm looks like a power-hitting first baseman that he is. 6'4", 215, coat hangers, shoulders. And what he's really done in the last year is become an all-fields hitter. He used to have tremendous pull bat speed. We see it right there going into the right field corner. But he's an all-fields hitter now. That's improved him as a hitter. He's also probably the best fielding first baseman in this year's class.
Kendall Simmons, great in the classroom. He's a Georgia Tech commit, plays for the East Cobb program.
I feel for Kendall Simmons. He's in Georgia, and Georgia's all-time year. Usually he'd be the best player in the state. And he's certainly one of the top 15 players in the country, but a great defensive player, going to end up at third base. Lots of right-handed power and really a special athlete and baseball player.
Kevin Vargas is out of Puerto Rico. This is a talented player going to go play for Mervel Melendez at FIU.
Well, Puerto Rico's had a big string of shortstops lately. Vargas is big, but not as physical as a Carlos Correa. He has got a lot of great shortstop tools, but not quite like a Lindor. He's kind of in between those 2 miles, but a 6'5" runner with big arm strength, a very good player.
Glove, 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 speed, speed, speed. It's fun to watch this man play, Xavier Edwards.
Well, the first time I saw Xavier Edwards play, Darren, he was in 8th grade, and I remember Jerry and I, Ford and I commenting, if he gets a little bit bigger over that 120 pounds he weighs, he's going to be a heck of a player. And he's become that. He's a joy to watch in the middle infield, whether it's at shortstop or at second base. And a switch hitter who's got surprising pop from both sides of the plate. But at the end of the day, it's Xavier Edwards in defense, sort of a Nick Allen type package.
He's in the house. We'll hear from him in a bit. Jeremiah Jackson out of Mobile, Alabama, Mississippi State commit.
Well, Jeremiah Jackson is kind of my Mr. Smooth for this class. He does everything smooth athletically, whether it's at shortstop or second base. He has lots of right-handed power, and it's a smooth right-hand swing. He runs easy. He's this easy, smooth athlete in this group.
He homered a Tournament of Stars. Blaze Alexander set a record at the showcase, throwing 99 across the infield.
And that was great, and I know Blaze was looking to do it. I think what it covers up with Blaze Alexander, Darren, is that he's a tremendous athlete. He's got a real nice right-handed swing. He's going to hit at the next level, and he's a true middle infielder. It's just not arm strength and nothing else. He can go side to side, and he's athletic enough to stay at shortstop. But you know what? That arm is fun. It's fun watching it.
He had 11 hits in Lake Point, dominated that last tournament. Nander DeSatis, a great story, originally from Panama.
In fact, the first PG showcase he came to, Darren, was as he was still a resident of Panama. His parents and he moved to Florida. He goes to Mount Verde Academy now. And boy, has he grown as a player in the last 3 years since he came to the States. Slows the game down, has big physical tools, type of young man who could be a first-round draft choice next June, no doubt about it.
Tristan Cassis is a name that everyone knows in this space, especially. It's huge power. He's working daily on his athleticism.
And Darren, his athleticism has got better. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. He'll probably end up at first, but with the athleticism he's showing now at third base, he'll be a very good first baseman. But it's all about right-handed or left-handed power with Tristan Cassis. It's some of the best in the class, and he's going to be a middle-of-the-order run producer.
One of the great joys each year for David and I is to escort athletes through Rady Children's Hospital and all the difference that it means. This year, the funds raised by Perfect Game to fight pediatric cancer will go over $1 million. We have a friend that we pray for every day. Her name is Maddie Taylor. Bryce Terang and Mr. Brazil got a chance to spend some time with young Maddie as she battles leukemia, and we hope she keeps on fighting. That night in San Diego in June, we also learned about Mr. Brazil's mom, Jane, battling breast cancer, winning the battle to this point. It hits home for him now, this journey through Rady Children's Hospital and raising funds. Let's listen to the All-American as he ties mom to this journey.
I'm like super happy to be able to go to the Children's Hospital and be able to spend the day with the kids. My mom is one of the toughest moms like on the planet. She was battling stage 4 breast cancer. She's doing great, and she's doing everything that every mom would do, but I mean, she's just, even when she was sick, she was doing everything for us and taking me to games and just there for me 100%, and I'm just so blessed to have her. Yeah, it's pretty scary, but I know she'll battle through it, and she's a fighter, so I wasn't worried that she would not stop fighting. So.
Outstanding family, Jane and Greg, and again, worth praying for every single day, thinking about, and we'll certainly look forward to spending time with them in San Diego as we go through Rady as well. Get back to the players. We're going to show you some video of this man. Better yet, he's fun to hear from. But tell us about the man who's an Ole Miss commit, very athletic, out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Joe Gray.
Well, Joe Gray, Darren, I think is the best defensive center fielder in this class. He does everything very well. He gets great jumps on the ball. He runs great routes. He's got one of the strongest arms in the class, and he's just a natural center fielder. He also swings a pretty good bat. There's a lot of raw bat speed there and power, but as you said, he's got some thoughts on hitting. You were able to get a few of them out of him.
Yeah, he's got some personality. It's personality plus with Joe Gray. You know what he's not? He's not boring. Joe, talk with us about your hitting.
What do you do with 2 strikes?
2 strikes.
Are you still down here on the end of the bat?
2 strikes, yeah.
Okay.
I still trust in myself.
What do you tell yourself in your head then?
Don't cheat yourself from not swinging. That's pretty much how I think. And also, do not. I'm repeating myself.
You
right
are.
Here,
it's a big emphasis.
Do not try to do too much with that pitch.
Okay.
You know, because at one point I would try to take every pitch out, and now I'm learning to actually be the hitter, to just be able to trust your hands and throw them if that's what you have to do to actually put it in play.
An outstanding athlete in Joe Gray. A unique look at athleticism comes out of Chicago because picture this. You're the starting quarterback for Mount Carmel High School, but you're also possibly making a run at a gold medal for Team USA. Thus is the life of Alec Thomas. His dad, Alan Thomas, doing such a great job with the White Sox, strength and conditioning. Let's get to know this athlete and why, in fact, he has earned that spot, not only on the football field, but on the baseball field, David, as well.
Oh, yeah, and Alec Thomas is a quick-twitch athlete, about 5'10". If he plays football at TCU, it's going to be as an athlete. It's that kind of athleticism. He's a future batting champion-type hitter, left-handed. I kind of liken him to a Brett Gardner of the Yankees overall as an athlete. But it's pure center field speed and tools, and it's a strong left-handed bat with a little more power than I think you would originally see looking at him.
Vinny Tosti's from California, Santa Rosa. He's committed to go to Oregon, plays for NorCal Baseball.
Well, Vinny's a very quick twitch athlete. He runs a 6'4", 60. He's got a very strong throwing arm. He's going to be a big asset defensively in center field. right-handed hitter with a lot that quick twitch ability, comes out. He's got very quick hips and core, and that's where the power comes from.
I love vacationing in Newport Beach, but Preston Hartzell doesn't play like a man on vacation ever.
No, and he's really made a big name for himself, Darren, especially at the 17 and under a few weeks ago with his bat. He's an athlete like Vinny Tosti, and he runs a 6'5" and has a strong arm, but that bat has really stood out. Left-handed hitter, power to all fields. I think he was 9 for 16 against good pitching.
Levi Usher out of Iowa. What are we seeing here?
We're seeing a football highlight. We're seeing an incredible interception here by Levi Usher that he returned for a touchdown. Levi Usher is probably known by fewer people in the baseball community than any other player on this All-American roster. You know, he's from small town in Iowa, but the athleticism is incredible. He runs a 6'2", 60. He throws 98 from the outfield. He's a left-handed hitter with bat speed, and he hasn't got to play on the national stage. He's going to get to play in San Diego on the national stage.
A defensive back and a wide receiver, Levi Usher. He's non-committed. This is going to be a very interesting year. Most of these players are already commits, right? So an interesting recruiting process awaits Levi Usher. Which sport will he play? We're excited to have him in San Diego at the All-American Classic as he journeys wherever he journeys into. That's a big part of it, right, David? With regard to the recruiting visits for these players, how does it come together? Does it happen as young as 14 years old, as it does for some? Let's go back inside of that locker room, and let's talk recruiting. How did it work for these guys?
For me, you know, like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it was really quick. And I went to a showcase. There was a bunch of college coaches there and performed well in one game, and that's all it took. And then next thing I knew, the next weekend, they invited me to the campus. I toured it, loved it, and they offered me right there. So it was really quick.
Yeah, same with me. Like it was really quick as well. Like I picked like the schools that I really wanted to focus on and to like look at, I guess. And once I had the opportunity for them to come see me, it was like that. And I'm glad that I had the opportunities that I did have, and it was just a good ride. So.
Yeah, I had fun. I don't know about you guys. Like, I thought it was really cool having like colleges and stuff like looking at me and like going and touring campuses and stuff like that. Like, and I mean, I obviously have my favorite schools out of everybody. I've always wanted to go to Vanderbilt. Like that. I used to tell my coaches in that when I was like 12 or so, like, man, Vanderbilt would be like a really good campus to like be on, really good baseball program. So.
Right. Mine started from the education for sure. My mom was big in that, so I had to go to schools that were high in education. Start off on the West Coast, work my way back to the South.
Let's get back to that roster. A slugger third baseman out of Birmingham, Michigan, plays some for the East Coast Sox. The #1 player in the state, Bryce Bush.
Well, Bryce Bush is an offensive player. He's a corner infielder, but his tool is his bat. Very strong right-handed bat. Has performed very well against high-level pitching thus far. And with two Michigan players, both young African-American men, and Bryce and John Malcolm, I know that's something Major League Baseball loves. It's something Perfect Game loves as well.
Nolan Gorman won the high school home run derby amongst all the big boys last night.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was surprised by that. Nolan Gorman's been one of the top hitters in this class for a long time since we began tracking the 2018s. What's really surprised me about Nolan this summer is how well he plays third base. He could become a plus defensive third baseman.
Hunter Watson out of Tennessee committed to go to Texas A&M.
Speaking of third baseman, Hunter Watson, classic third base tools. Sort of has a Corey Seager type build, 6'3", 6'4", doesn't quite have that left side athleticism. But again, third baseman at the end of the day, it's about your bat. Hunter Watson has an outstanding left-handed swing, can really get the ball in the air and drive it.
Southern California's in the house. South Hills High School two-way player Brandon Dieter.
Well, there's probably people in Southern California saying, wait, Brandon Dieter's a pitcher. He threw 82 innings this spring in high school. He's one of the top pitchers in Southern California. I think from the scouting point of view, he is a future shortstop. He's the consummate, polished shortstop from Southern California.
Seth Halverson out of Minnesota. This is a very talented position player from a cold weather state.
Talented position player, talented pitcher. I don't think scouts have any idea right now with Seth Halverson whether he's a pitcher throwing 95, whether he's a middle infielder. What I'm pretty sure of is at this point he might be the best prospect from Minnesota since Joe Mauer.
He is committed to go to Mizzou. Remember Sam Carlson last year out of the great state of Minnesota, high draft pick. Nicholas Northcutt out of Mason, Ohio, Vanderbilt commit. Big bat.
Big bat. You gotta love the way he plays. He plays like his hair is on fire. It's almost like Joe Rizzo, one of your favorite players from 2 All-American teams ago, except for a right-handed version. Strong third base tools defensively, but with Nick Northcutt, it's all about the bat, and you can see it right there. He hits the baseball hard.
Northcutt excited to have his bat, the glove of Osiris Johnson. Great ties. Cal State Fullerton to commit. Jimmy Rollins is his cousin.
Jimmy Rollins, same high school, Encinal High School in Alameda. Osiris is the youngest player in this class. He won't turn 17 until mid-October, so we're really looking at a 2019 age kid. He's a very good athlete, plays outfield and infield, probably a third base, second base to the next level, but a very good player.
Jordan Groshans rounding things out. A Ryan Valade comp with a big bat. Now, this is a young man that homered and did so very dangerously at the National Showcase. He's a Kansas commit. His brother already plays there, but it's that home run that everyone was talking about. There's a leg kick that goes into the action. There's dangerous approach. He really changed the way things looked at the National Showcase, and this has been oncoming for quite some time. Middle infielder out of Magnolia, Texas, maybe profiles a little bit stronger as a third baseman. There's legs behind the wheels, but he tells us about that long ball and his approach.
I went up there thinking after the 3-1 count, he threw me another ball, so they said fastball's coming. I said just try to barrel it up. Just try to do something good with it and square it up, get in the gap, get an extra bag out of it, and ended up going over. The big thing to me is my hands. I feel like if my hand placement is well, then my path to the ball is well, and I'll get a good swing on it, and I'll barrel it up consistently. And then my feet, I don't try to get too wide. I have a simple leg kick. I just like to bring it up and set it down easy and fire. The biggest thing to me is just relax. I get up there, I take a deep breath, and I don't try and tense up because then I feel like things go wrong. If I'm relaxed and my mindset's relaxed, my approach is relaxed, and it just comes easy.
Jordan, outstanding. We promised a couple of All-Americans on stage. Xavier Edwards, congratulations on becoming a perfect game All-American. Bryce Bush from the great state of Michigan. Congratulations. My goodness, this is fun, right? I mean, this beats the alternative, doesn't it? Bryce, for you and the journey that you've gone through, it's one that's involved Major League Baseball as well, as you've been reached out to by Major League Baseball and your perfect game experience. You've heard throughout this show everyone talk about you cold weather state guys. How in the world can you pull it off? How have you become a better baseball player, understanding that it's 18 in January when you want to be getting ready for the season? How do you do it?
Well, you got to take the time and put in the work indoors. So we always practice. We have a lot of facilities up north, and we practice all year round. So we don't take no breaks. So.
I love that voice, by the way. He's got a voice like a DJ and a color analyst. The work you do put in obviously has to go in the classroom. I know your dad Elmwood is here. We're honored to have him here with you. Explain to me how you're a better baseball player because you're a better student. Help me understand that.
I mean, it's all the sport of baseball. It's all about mental toughness. So you're smart you're good in the books. You take it out to the field and you show it off. So.
All right, walk me into the classroom. And you do that, you learn. Now you walk out onto the field. Step me into the batter's box. What are some of the keys to your swing? And be descriptive. Remember, I was a bad minor league pitcher, so I get the inside stuff. Talk to me about some of the keys to your swing.
Well, I go up to the plate. My approach, no negative thoughts at all. I just go up and think, no, drive the ball somewhere, hit it hard somewhere, get on base, you know. And, yeah, that's basically my approach to the plate. So.
You had a huge 17U WWBA. You were the MVP. Your team, the Kane 17U squad, won it all. What was that like? Because you were active, Tournament of the Stars. You were very, very busy. You make your way down. What was that tournament like at Lake Point in Atlanta to win the entire title? 390 teams is what you battled with. You were the MVP, very best player. Tell us some of the keys in having 11 hits, a bunch of stolen bases. How was it for you?
Well, it was a lot of fun. It was a good experience just being out there with the team and all the boys. I mean, wearing Evo Shield canes across your chest is a big responsibility, and a lot comes with it. So we were expecting to win the tournament from the beginning because that's just the name that Coach Petty has built with the organization. But it was a lot of fun, for sure.
X, what does this mean to be a perfect game All-American? Have you watched the game in years past, and what does it mean?
It means a lot. I have watched the game in the past. I've had some friends like Tristan McKenzie and Austin Smith play in the game in the past from down by West Palm by my house. So, yes, I have watched, and it's a great honor to be in the game.
All right, do some teaching because it's most fun with the young players that are watching. He talked a little bit about the batter's box. We love to watch you play shortstop. I mean, certainly glad that Rawlings is a partner because you may be earning some grown-up Gold Gloves someday. What are some of your keys defensively? If I'm a 13-year-old shortstop and I want to get better, what would you tell me to do?
Just make sure you're set up before each ground ball, like your feet are set up and you're prepared to move left to right or agilely. And just to make, I've heard from pro scouts before, to field the ball with your feet and not necessarily your gloves. So if your feet are in the right position and you're approaching the ball to get the best hops, then you'll be successful fielding a baseball.
Walk me into your home now and describe family life and the values that matter, how it's pretty safe to say you're not here without the values in your home.
Absolutely not. My mom and my dad have been a big part of me. They've been traveling, bringing me around all over the country. And my sister as well. I love her a lot. She's been there with me every step of the way, and I wouldn't be out here without any of them.
Yeah, literally. They brought you here today. Outstanding job. Good job. Congratulations. By the way, Tigers fan?
I'm a Cubs fan. Actually.
Oh, a Cubs fan. Living in Detroit, I'm sure they love to hear that. Gentlemen, congratulations. Enjoy the visit in San Diego. Enjoy Rady Children's Hospital. I promise you it's going to be a life changer. We're honored to have you guys as part of the team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very much.
Certainly a lot to aspire to be a part of. And when you think about this great group and what they mean, these are the players on the roster. There's a player we'd like to mention that's off the roster, that is not a perfect game All-American. And in this aspirational model, as we talk about, where young players want to be like these guys sitting next to us, I've got another one. You may aspire to be like Hunter Green. You may want to go through the journey like he did and have it all end up like Hunter Green. Then again, I would encourage you to aspire to have the values and the dedication of a young man out of Second Baptist High School in Houston, Texas. His name is Jackson Ryan. Those are some footsteps to follow in.
More than 750,000 children and adults in the United States have cerebral palsy, a group of disorders that affects a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. CP is part of approximately 3 births out of every 1,000, and it's the most common motor disability in childhood. Jackson Ryan is keenly aware of those statistics, yet just as aware of his most recent numbers on the baseball diamond. And, as we have learned, he has the tireless work ethic and incredible attitude to constantly attack both.
CP is basically where my right side of my body is tight all the time, so I go like this and hold on, so like when it gets cold outside and stuff, I grip real tight, and so it just kind of, it makes it a little more difficult than regular deal, but I just kind of go through it every day and just try to do it the best I can.
I've got to know some of the things that go into you, like mechanically. As we play catch now, some of the things that you have to tell yourself mechanically.
Just kind of do my normal routine and just kind of follow through, and then just take it off as soon as I let go of a pitch. I just got to go through it and continue to do what I need to do in order to pitch well. I want to try playing college and stuff, so just take it one day at a time, try to get better every time out.
Nolan Ryan, Hall of Famer, tenacious competitor, grandfather. Reed Ryan, Houston Astros president, leader, ambassador, father.
Get nervous when you pitch?
No? Not really.
Probably escape out there on the mound, don't you?
Just try to go through, try to get guys out, so.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just fun being around the game and enjoying it. And
that's the key.
And it's awesome. So.
That's the key.
Orion by name, mapping a course all his own. A man amongst boys. One who may find it challenging to stand up straight, yet stands taller than so many who take the field to play the game we love.
Feels right, doesn't it, David, to end the show with the concept of hard work and dedication? Because we honor Jackson Ryan's hard work and dedication. But really, the other 53, those that are on the roster, I think what this is a celebration of is their efforts. And the parent in me, the parent in you, understands that almost all of the time, almost all of them have got to make good decisions or they wouldn't be here. There would be someone else gunning for that spot. So this, to me, is a celebration of hard work, yet it's work yet to come.
Oh, and no doubt, Darren, we talked about all the players around the country who wanted to be All-Americans and everything and how quality. They have their own stories, but there's so much that goes into it as a player, starting when Xavier was in 8th grade and I saw him playing, and all these players have their own stories. Seeing stories like that is certainly inspirational, though.
Couple of things as we say goodbye. Number one, Perfect Game just moments ago, proud to announce a great relationship with Baseball America, one that will grow the game with the assistance of Major League Baseball and also that power of Baseball America and the positive right attitude all can put together. It's at the lower levels, a tier of media and coverage at the 12, 13, and 14U level to grow the game. So congratulations to all three groups, Baseball America, Perfect Game, and Major League Baseball. Now, on to the All-American Classic. We will see all of you on August 13th at Petco Park at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. on the West Coast in San Diego, California. You can find it at all sorts of places. On the MLB Network, David and I will be glad to bring it to you. You can find it streaming on MLB.com, which means certainly on your smartphone as well. You can also, if you're a SiriusXM subscriber, find it on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio, as it has been each and every year. We want to thank our good friends with Rady Children's Hospital, the San Diego Padres, all of your scouts. They do such a great job with Perfect Game, providing us the insights and knowledge of who these players are. The great cooperation of Jim Jenks and crew with MLB Advanced Media and MLB.com and Major League Baseball for allowing us to come here and be part of their party. We've had all sorts of fun. The athletes who came up on stage had all sorts of fun. And now it's on to San Diego. After this Major League Baseball All-Star Game ends tonight, it's on to San Diego. We'll see you August 13th at the Perfect Game All-American Classic. By the way, all these pictures, Banter Ray Productions. We wouldn't be anywhere without those great insights. We'll see you at the Yard. Enjoy the rest of the time in Miami and enjoy the 15th edition of the Perfect Game All-American Classic. David and I, have a good one.